All right. Now, how do I work any of these buttons? I'm kidding. Obviously kidding. Hello, everybody. No, we didn't change any of the times or anything. Because once the games are done today, I do the recap video, and then what do you want? What's your problem? And then I'll be pre-recording a bunch of stuff to go live on the channel over the next week.
Pardon me.
I'll move this. I don't need this here right now.
I'm stepping over all the animals.
I know.
They all have to be under my feet.
Oh, there's 4 cats and 2 rabbits in here, so.
All under my feet, huh, Cinnabon? Say hi.
Because she wants to know if you have anything
Cinnabon
for
wants
her.
to say hi. Here's Cinnabon. Isn't she so sweet?
She gets up on her tippy toes every time she sees me. It's so cute. Because she wants treats, don't you?
Such a good girl.
You're like, he gives me food. I like what he gives me.
Rabbits are so cute. They're kind of... Look at that face. Look at that face. Oh, my gosh. Okay. She knows she's cute.
Of course she does. She does a little shake, too.
Thank you. I like this sweatshirt, too.
Oh, hey. Hello, Germany.
Go 49ers.
Yep. See?
Rooting for them today because I got family in...
It's on the TV.
San Francisco?
I knew you'd want to have the football game on while we were doing this.
I don't care. Well, I'm
And
reading comments, so I don't have to watch it anyways.
The Bengals game's coming up, too. So did you want to watch that one with me? Or
No. What?
She's just letting you know she appreciates you.
Food.
And she wants to know whether or not you have any treats for her.
Do you have something for me?
It's not like whoever's usually in here is feeding her all the time or anything.
Yeah, you know why all of our animals are mooches? It's not because of me. I didn't have moochy animals before I had a Shannon. It's all him.
It was about 2 days into her being in here, too, and she's up on her hind feet every time, like, do you have anything?
Going to Disney the week after you are. What rides are fun for adults?
All of them.
But
they really are.
We're the odd adults. We don't go on the
scary rides.
Crazy rides.
I have a nervous stomach, so I don't want to. Oh,
Shannon can't do
fast. What was that called?
Dropping Thunder Mountain Railroad. Shannon
Railroad.
will not ever do that one again.
No.
We had people coming up and offering him water and all of that. So
yeah, it was bad.
Shannon doesn't do that. I can do spinning. I can
if I can focus on a point.
I don't prefer,
but it's the really
crazy roller coasters. I can do Thunder Mountain. I can do Space Mountain.
The problem with Thunder Mountain was awesome. I knew early in the ride, oh, this is not going to be good for me.
Quickly, yeah.
And there's no way to get off of it.
No.
So it's like, all right, so I'm in hell for the next 45 seconds. This is great.
But Disneyland is awesome. All of their rides are cool. They do a really good job of
all the Star Wars stuff is great. Star Wars stuff is great. Rise of the Resistance, we're going to get on that ride multiple times if possible.
Do we have Canucks merchandise on our bed? Merchandise?
We don't have anything Canucks on our bed.
We don't have any Canucks on our bed. We've got Boston blanket and an Ottawa blanket.
Yeah.
That's it. We do have a Canucks. Have you guys ever seen the hockey puck pillows? We have a few of those.
And I got that.
Those aren't on our bed. I have those on our Chesterfield. I like them. They're actually really good.
I think it was 3 years ago I got that Canucks pillow. I was going to do like a comedic video where I said this is for the screaming into if you're a new Canucks fan. And I wanted to do that video, and then they were in some miserable stretch. I'm like, I just can't. I can't find the humor in this. And then it was that video just never took place. Thankfully, they're in a much better place now. Thankfully, now being a Canucks fan is just like oodles,
roses and sunshine,
oodles and balls of fun.
Balls of fun.
It is balls of fun. That's what they should have on their t-shirts. Cheer for the Canucks. We're balls of fun. Don't specify what kind.
I wasn't going to comment. So have a wonderful vacation. Thanks for all that you do. Go bunnies and kitties. You hear that, Cinnabon? Somebody said go bunnies.
You hear that?
How did you and Michael Buble even meet and become friends?
He reached out to me.
He did. And actually it was his
his
assistant,
publicist, or
the assistant, and I did not believe that she was actually with Michael Buble, because
he actually had to phone
she
us.
was asking for Shannon's phone number, and I told her, haha, yeah, right. So he video called me, and then they connected, the two of them connected. So, and now they're friends. The end. But yeah, I thought that wasn't, because I told her, why would Michael Buble be sending us a Facebook message? Right. I'm sure that's what happens. That's how it works.
Well, I mean, and my reaction was, yeah, he watches my videos. Sure he does. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Which hockey insiders do you trust? Can you trust any of them?
Friedman, Merrick, Drieger. I think there's times where Drieger might report a little bit early, meaning that he hears of rumblings of things and he reports on things that might not come through, which all of them sometimes do, because just because GMs are talking and they report on it doesn't mean something's going to come out of it. McKenzie was honestly the most reliable when he was not just doing the draft. It has to be a tough job, though, because you get this information, you pass it on, you can't give out your sources. And then if that information turns out to not become accurate because that trade doesn't take place or a guy doesn't sign somewhere, then you have to deal with, for the next, 5-10 years, people going, remember that time you said that this guy was going to sign there? Aren't you stupid because it didn't happen? Remember that? Remember when you said this guy was going to the Rangers? He didn't go to the Rangers. You don't know anything. Like, they're not the ones completing the trades. So they're going to have information that may or may not end up coming through.
Are you buying the new All-Star jerseys?
I did find on Adidas, I got the Western one. The Eastern one was almost completely sold out. The Western one should be here tomorrow. So if that does arrive tomorrow, then I can use that I wanted to do a couple of videos about the All-Star game that would post this coming weekend during the All-Star game festivities and such. And I thought it would be fun to have the new one for that. But the Eastern one sold out, and I don't really care. I just thought, well, and again, I had another coupon. I have a bunch of coupons on Adidas.
Weird. I wonder why they send you coupons.
I never bothered at looking at what my points could do. And I was like, I can get 30% off. Okay. Hey, look, I can get 30% off again. Okay. So I got 30% off on it.
Is the Blade-Buchnevich trade the worst of the past 5 years?
I don't think so. I think with Buchnevich, I don't think that the Rangers, with salary cap being as salary cap is, I think that was more of a long-term. Buchnevich is going to cost a ton of money. Now, could they've gotten more than Blade? That's possible. But I mean, he really clicked in St. Louis, which we didn't know for sure was going to happen. And Blade ran into injury problems as soon as he arrived with the Rangers. I like Sammy Blais. I think he's a decent depth forward, and yeah, that's how I see it. But I understand why people think that's a terrible deal.
Why do you think the West is weaker than the East?
These things are cyclical. It has been a matter of, I think there's just better management of the teams in the East right now. I think the teams are just, when you look at the quality from top to bottom, for Colorado, they would be right in there, but the injuries have definitely taken them out. Vegas has been hurt by injuries as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a team from the West end up winning the Stanley Cup, but at this point, the strongest teams are definitely in the East.
Heard rumors Demko actually might get traded. Your thoughts?
I think that's come out of speculation. So the fact that the Canucks have said privately the only untouchable is Pettersson, it's going to lead to Demko rumors. I would rather they didn't, because right now I would think Demko's value would be relatively low considering the season he's had and the injury as well. I'd rather they held on to him. But if he did hit the market, he would be a popular target for some teams. The Kings need a goaltender. I think Seattle would at least have to consider it if they had a chance to get Demko, because as solid as Jones has been at points, and Drieger's going to come back and Grubauer signed, just Demko's a really good young goaltender.
Will Splash Mountain still be open at Disneyland? Yes, it's still open. I think it closes in like 2 weeks because they're doing the super.
Oh yeah, Venus was asking me about that.
Super
I told her
refurbishment.
the only thing
They're theming it.
Yeah.
They're retheming it. It's going to be Princess and the Frog, which I think will be really fun. A lot more fun than the Bears.
Because I told Venus that you're not going to see
it is still open.
Mansion.
I know, and I'm really disappointed because I love Haunted Mansion, and I've only ever seen it decorated for Christmas. So, but it's going to be closed just for the week that we're there.
Yep, same as it was the last time we went 3 years ago.
Right.
Because we're not allowed to see
Well, because they don't have it closed for very long when they take down Christmas. They've got it down, but they're doing it later this year. But we are there for, it's still Lunar New Year, which I think is really fun. And it's the 100th birthday of Disney, and that just started on Friday. So that's super cool, and I'm kind of really excited. And the colors for that are silver and purple. So that's great. I know it's something just so dorky and just silly.
You're dorky, though, so it's okay.
I am totally dorky, and I like silver and purple. That's great. That's right up my alley.
Okay.
So,
do I think Pulock's a bit overrated? The thing is, always associated with Pulock. You know, I think with Pulock, I think without Pulock there, I do think it's dragged him down a bit. But consider what's gone on in Detroit, where Seider got away from Sherratt and his numbers got a lot better. Maybe the same thing with Pulock. Maybe it was the pairing just didn't work for him. And so with Pulock back, look for his play to get better. But he's not the only Islander that's had a rough season. It has been a pretty poor season for the Islanders after a decent start.
There will definitely be some awesome fireworks at Disney. Yeah, the new ones started. Well, the birthday ones started on Friday. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Have a good trip, Shannon. Any fun?
Oh, we intend to.
What are your thoughts on Yzerman's work in Detroit so far?
He's got a lot of good young players. He's got a lot of good young players at every position. I think this is a team that's going to be a contender. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. But I think he's done a good job of laying the foundation. And now it's a matter of, I would think this summer, he could end up being quite aggressive in the free agent market.
Did the fans end up bullying you into keeping the whiteboards for the news videos?
I just kind of gave up.
It does make it obnoxious when the comment section is just full of people whining.
I thought that without the news boards and using the timestamps, I thought it seemed more professional and whatnot, but I just gave up. There was all the whining and complaining. So I was like, all right, I'll just treat it like every other video. I'll just leave the whiteboard in. It's fine, whatever.
Oh, somebody asked all of our animals' names.
Well, this is Bear.
Okay. So we've got Bear. Where's Maple is the tortie. I don't see any other kitties right now. Shadow is the black one. Pixel's the black and white one. Azrael is the spazzy orange one.
The only one you don't see in the videos is Pixel.
Because she doesn't climb on cat trees. She likes to stay on the ground. And she's usually with me. She's my little Shadow.
And she considers this room to be their room. Right. So she doesn't come in. If she does, she's looking both ways. She's really nervous.
And she's usually following me.
Bear will attack her and put her out of here. Yeah. Bear doesn't like her being
Pixel's
in here.
My baby. And then we have 6 rabbits. The 2 that you see, well, you don't usually see them in here. But the 2 that are always in here is Cinnabon and Licorice. And then upstairs we have Pickle and Dandelion. Those are the mom and dad. And then we have Jet, who is also black. And we have Waffles. She's the gray blind one. And we have lots of pictures and videos of them on the THG Cats Instagram. So they have their own Instagram. They have way more followers than we do because we all know why people watch this channel.
I did get back into my second Instagram account, though. I'm not. My main account is still locked out. I can't get into it. Their support is less than useless. So yeah. But I did get back into my second account. I just don't really use Instagram.
Is Paul Maurice a bad coach? Jets are flourishing with him gone. Cats are a lot worse this year with him.
I wouldn't say the Jets are flourishing right now. They've lost 5 out of 7. They've lost 3 in a row. Maurice is a good coach. I don't know that he's suited to that roster in Florida, although they've been playing better lately. Those guys really, they thrive on the less structured, more offensively dynamic play. And I don't think Maurice is that kind of coach. I think he has to let up a little bit on them because I understand that they lost in the playoffs because they weren't playing playoff hockey last year. But I don't know that Maurice is necessarily the solution to that. It'll be interesting to see after the All-Star break if they continue to play well.
If Lou steps down after the season, do you think Lambert should also go? I think the new GM deserves to hire his own coach.
New GMs will usually have that option when they come in. I would not be surprised to see this be the final year for Lou. I mean, Lou's been at this for a very long time. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this end up being his final season. But a new GM will normally get a chance to hire a coach. But normally you just get one chance to hire a coach.
Do you see Horvat in Detroit?
He'd be a solid addition for anybody that picks him up. I think the most obvious spot for him is probably Colorado. Boston gets talked about a lot as well. If Boston can make that work under the cap. For Detroit, I think it would make more sense if they were closer to the playoffs.
Shannon is watching football. It's, I don't know, red and teal-ish colors.
Right underneath.
There's an eagle. Oh, I see it now. 49ers and Eagles.
It's the only game on because they're up to the conference final.
Okay, there you go.
You don't have to hold on that tight. I'm not going to throw you or anything.
Have a great vacation. Where does Trotz end up?
Well, now that he's willing to come back, I think for Trotz, he's talked about wanting to go to an original 6 team. I think he wants a real challenge. I think that if one of the original 6 teams decides to move on from their coach, he would be a picked up. I could see him ending up almost anywhere that he wants to go. Because if he says, I'd like to be a coach somewhere, I think people would listen.
We are having a meetup when we are in Anaheim. I have made an event on Facebook. So if you go to the Hockey Guy page on Facebook, there is an event for it. It's on Saturday the 4th at 4:00 at Steel something. I forget what it's called. Like Steelcraft or something like that. You probably have no idea. Shannon has no clue because
I know you're
I made it.
He's
He's coming. So, Shannon had nothing to do with the planning of it.
I just kept saying
it's fine. He just knows when I tell him we're getting in an Uber, we're going.
Really.
But all the information is on. I made a Facebook event for it. So it's just a chill meetup. We're meeting at it's not really a restaurant. It's like several eateries with a
that works.
Seating
We've
area.
done that with meetups before.
Yeah, I think it'll work a lot better because the Cheesecake Factory one, it was so much waiting.
Well, there were 2 things with Cheesecake Factory.
So
it was
cold.
The waiting, and then it was really expensive.
And waiting some more.
And it was
really hard
pricey. I was really surprised at how expensive that was.
It was. Well, yeah, especially we had the kids. We won't be taking the kids to the meetup this time. They'll stay back with my mom is coming. And so they'll be staying with her, and
we'll come back from the meetup and she'll be like, I've decided I'm getting on the plane and going home now. I'm done.
No, it'll be good. They can always go on around downtown Disney or something. How are you drinking your tea, Yvonne? Sugar, honey, lemon juice. I'm actually kind of sick. Not contagious sick because I've been sick for like 3 weeks.
And I'm fine.
The worst immune system ever. I used to have a really good immune system, but ever since I
stayed
really
away from
sick,
you when you first got sick, but then I just gave up. I'm like, well, if I don't have it now.
I just, ever since I got really sick, I have a really weak immune system, and the kids are gracious enough to give me everything, and I get more sick than anybody else does.
Kids are disease
in my
bags.
Throat.
I said this before I met you.
So I'm actually drinking one of my cold teas, and I have honey in it, which I don't usually put honey in my tea because that's a lot of sugar. But for when it's all in my throat, I definitely do have honey. So it's really good. It's like a mint and chamomile, and yeah, Cheesecake Factory's overrated. There, I said it. Let the fight begin. It was good. Well, and they did have a sugar-free cheesecake, which was awesome. But
that it should stand out as like the best cheesecake you've ever had. And it
had a lot of kinds, but I don't eat sugar. So,
but if it's called cheesecake, it should be the greatest cheesecake you've. And I mean, it was good. But I've had good cheesecakes from elsewhere.
We have some awesome cheesecake places here.
We do.
Yeah,
we do. Maybe that's what it is. I've just been spoiled.
Yeah,
probably.
That's likely.
That's highly likely. See, guy named Gainwell. You need that for a guy who's a running back because his name's Gainwell, meaning I will gain yardage.
All right.
And that's how he ended up being a running back as a kid, I would think.
Never understood the appeal of Cheesecake Factory because they have 20 gajillion kinds of cheesecake. It's like they could have a whole menu that's just cheesecake flavors.
And then over the last 15 years, they've had free advertising from the Big Bang Theory because people are probably like, hey, girls that look like Penny work at the Cheesecake Factory. So they're going to go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay. Any thoughts on James Dolan facial recognition scandal? Definitely creepy, but I don't see an issue with him blocking people suing him from MSG.
Some kind of facial recognition software they were using at MSG.
Why?
And I don't know. I haven't reported on it because I didn't see it as being a big deal. Obviously, in this day and age, you've got to be really careful about how things are perceived, and it wasn't perceived well. And so Dolan needs to own that a little bit.
Oh, afterthoughts. Yes, they are great.
We have that here.
Yes, it's an Abbotsford place.
Yeah, I just don't order from there because it's just desserts, and I'm like, man, if I want to feel really guilty and fat,
it's a date night place.
It's
Malachi got to go there on Wednesday with his social group.
Is there any sugar-free stuff there?
I don't know. I've never looked.
Because it wouldn't be a good date night for us if we go and I get to eat and you just look and.
I know. See, we don't do. Yeah, I don't. We don't
do date night though.
We don't. We'd have to go places.
Yeah.
I think it's different because we're always around each other.
Yeah.
Always.
She gets really sick of me, so.
That's not true.
That's kind of how that works.
Luckily, I don't. It's really nice when you like your spouse. Highly recommend.
Like she woke me up the other day and said, "You're still going to be here tomorrow, right?" Well, so the whole.
That's not. That didn't happen.
Our whole relationship,
luckily,
it's not going to end.
I always like Shannon. If you could only keep one jersey, which one would it be? Oh, that'd make Shannon cry.
See, that's tough because then it would be between Vancouver, Dallas, and Boston.
Might be Heritage Jets. Probably the blue one. I do like the white one, but I don't prefer white jerseys because they're kind of see-through.
It'd have to be a Flying V. Yellow Flying V.
Oh my gosh, really?
The yellow Flying V.
Oh, the yellow, of course the yellow one.
Nothing symbolizes the pain of being a Canucks fan as much as the yellow Flying V.
The yellow one.
It is an ugly history.
It's the most Shannon answer that ever Shannoned.
Well, for Boston, it'd be the Paddington Bear.
I knew that. I knew you would say that one.
And for Dallas, Star Jersey. The green Star
right.
Jersey.
Yes, I know.
That's
really
gorgeous.
Like that one. Hot take. Austin Matthews is the most overrated 60-goal scorer the league has ever seen. Now watch him get his name on the Conn Smythe this year.
Not that many guys have even hit 60 goals in their careers, but there have been 50-goal scorers that ended up being overrated. I just don't talk about overrated on the channel because I feel like there's a video that's going to post to the channel on holiday while I'm on holidays. There's so much negativity in the sports atmosphere right now. Like everywhere I look, it's not, hey, this guy's doing pretty well. It's, hey, look how much this guy sucks. Hey, do you know how much we hate this guy? Don't we hate this team? So I try not to do that on the channel because I feel like there's enough people in that space as it is.
That's true.
So I don't talk about overrated players because I think it's just, it can't go good places.
Is 82 games the right amount for the regular season? Would you prefer more or less?
I'd prefer 84. I want to see a balanced schedule. 84 game schedule. You can have 4 against your division, 3 against the conference, and 2 against the other conference, and done. And then we don't need to touch the schedule again unless they expand, which they're not going to do. So I think 84 is perfect.
Oh, sure. Now she tells me I should have actually liked him. It took me a couple tries to figure that out. But yeah, when you like your spouse, it makes everything.
You're the first person
so much better.
You're the first person I've been involved with who really seems to like me. And I'm like, this
is
how
amazing.
It's supposed to be.
Okay. The difference.
It does.
When you like your spouse. Huge difference. When you don't try and think of things you have to do so you can leave the house.
One of those things where it's a good thing I'm not a drinker. Because if I was a drinker, it'd be, remember me? Remember you didn't like me? Yeah, that would just be awful. Shannon, did you text people when you were drunk? Maybe.
What do you think about Patrick Kane to Buffalo, his hometown? Would it make sense? Have fun on your vacation. Much
It
love.
makes sense if Buffalo thinks they can be contenders, and if they can entice them to stick around, that'd be great.
The choir robe. It's a grad gown.
But
grad gown.
Buffalo's an interesting one because I think they will be buyers at the deadline. This is getting talked about now, and I think that's what's going to happen. So if Kane ends up there, I think it'd be great because Buffalo have been bottom feeders for way too long. Hey,
this
sweetie.
is Maple. She'd rather be climbing.
She's very distracted. Anytime she gets picked up, she looks for somewhere higher she can jump.
Can I jump? Our camera this morning, it told me that there was movement and it was a cat jumping by it. It was funny. Does Marchenko hot streak put him in the Calder run?
He has to get some more points. He has to get some more. He has to get any assists. He has 13 goals, no assists. He has to start passing the puck. So I think that he'll be in the conversation by the end of the year. I don't think he wins it.
Should the Western Conference be worried that Colorado is starting to turn things around heading into the second half?
I don't know about worried, but they're definitely a team that can make up the gap. Dallas isn't playing great right now. Winnipeg's not playing great right now. Minnesota's had their struggles. The first place in the division is there for Colorado if they want it. And yeah, they're going to get healthier. So they're going to be very, very dangerous.
People need to stop hating and start appreciating, right? Like they could jump in there and replace them. That's part of
it is for me to say, oh, this guy sucks. Really? Can I do that?
Right.
Could I ever have done that? No. Could most people I know
even
do what the guy does?
The worst
No.
player is pretty darn good.
That's why last night when the Oilers put in the Berlin Wall there to play goal and he made a save, everybody cheered him. Because he made a save off the blocker. And it's like,
that's awesome.
That's great.
That is.
An NHL player takes
fantastic.
a shot and he saves it. And that's a memory he'll take for the rest of his life. So I prefer to focus on the positive rather than the negative.
Baby poo yellow must be the ugliest color for a jersey. Are you talking about the meth tiger? Because that is that's not baby poop yellow. This is really bright marigold. The meth tiger is baby poop yellow, and it is the most hideous color of. Yes, it is.
It's not.
Yeah, it is. Okay, have you ever had a baby? Have you ever had a breastfed baby? Totally different colors. See, that's really bright.
There's nothing wrong with this.
Other than it's
beautiful.
Hideous. Absolutely. Great.
It's gorgeous. This is a perfect jersey right here.
It's
so ugly.
No, yep. See, other people agree with me. There, see, you guys know. If LA traded for Vejmelka, would they be contenders?
You know, one thing I wonder with Vejmelka, Karl Vejmelka has great games. He has mediocre games. He seems to thrive when he faces a ton of shots. So if he goes to a team that doesn't allow as many shots, could he struggle? It could be the Curtis Joseph argument, the Luongo argument, that when these guys face less shots, for some reason, they don't seem to be as sharp. I will say, I think that Vejmelka would be a great addition for the Kings if they can make it work. I don't think he's on the market, though, either. I think they'd be willing to move Ingram, but I don't think they're willing to move Vejmelka.
Great collection of sweaters. Hope they're insured. We have insurance
of course
for where we live. Of course we do.
They're part of our home, so yes.
Does Montreal move Allen now that Monty looks real?
I think they keep Allen. I think they keep Montembeault. I think that'll be their tandem, although that could change this summer. So I don't think anything changes the rest of this regular season. This summer, Allen could then be on the market in order to make room for Caden Primo if they think Primo's ready for the job.
Pink as a color, I think, needs to be in a jersey. I think that could work really well depending on what colors it went with.
Calgary could make that work. And it would be
different.
Calgary could make that work because they could tie it in with the Hitmen. They could do like a Bret Hart night and they could have a third jersey that has pink in it. Yeah. Because Bret Hart used to have t-shirts that said real men wear pink, and you could do that with Calgary Flames. I don't know which other teams you could do that for. I mean, Arizona has so many bloody colors. You could probably fit in a pink one and nobody even notice.
Well, and it would work. It would work. Not the
with
sand
the desert colors,
not the sand colored one, but the that style of art can have pink in it, and it can work really
Seeing
well.
If Seattle had been the salmon.
What is that? Is that sienna orange? Is that what that color is? Or sienna brown?
It's sienna. It's supposed to be a
orangey
tan
brown.
color.
It's like an orangey brown, but
the funny thing is the hats aren't the same color.
But I do wish more teams had different colors. There's so many teams that have the same colors. You've got all the teams that have orange and black.
These are both from Fanatics.
Orange and blue. Marigold and black.
It's not the same color. I don't know if the camera can see that, but they're not.
It's part of why I really like Seattle. I love that they did totally different colors, and it's really pretty. Well, same with Vegas, totally different colors.
If they done
really
salmon,
fun.
Like if they'd done a salmon themed jersey, there could have been pink in there.
I really like the colors that they chose, though.
Yes.
I think Seattle's looks so nice. I really like those. Were you a Bob Probert fan?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a Red Wings fan at the time, but yeah, he was the toughest, and he was also one of the best scorers in there as well, of the tough guys, and he was a really solid player. Seemed like a great guy, and it's a shame that he passed as young as he did.
Yeah, Nashville and Penguins are the same colors. There's quite a few teams that are the
Nashville,
same
Pittsburgh,
color.
Boston. The Vancouver ones are a brighter yellow, but they've had that marigold color as well. They used that in the 80s.
At least they've always had either red or orange with it as well. But there's a lot of look behind. You can see all of the blue and all of the marigold.
Seals is close.
And there's a lot of orange yellow. For it being orange. Oh, and red and blue. That's another really red and blue, red and black.
Well, yeah.
There's so many colors. Why are they the same? Went to Tucson game the other night. Sat in front row. Can smell the players' sweat. Bring back jersey piping. Agreed. That'd be great. I like it when they do things differently. Way too many white jerseys. I would really like it if they didn't have to wear white.
I'd like to see it done more like you see with soccer games, and where you don't necessarily have to have a white jersey on the pitch, and this would be on the ice. I think it'd be great. I think now, back in the day, of course, it was black and white TVs, so you had to have one team in white and one team in a dark color because of black and white TV. But we don't have black and white. I mean, if you're watching this in black and white, adjust your monitor or TV or phone, because that's not how that should work. Smoker's cough. But
never smoked, but yeah, sure. That's what it is.
That's how that works. But yeah, I think that if they had dark colors against each other, it'd be great. And I always talk about this back in the NHL 75th anniversary season. Montreal and Toronto wore their 75th anniversary jerseys against each other, and it was spectacular. You had red team on one side, the blue on the other. It was great. So I think if there's a high contrast, I think you could make that work.
Yeah. Can you write off your jersey purchases since they're an integral part of your channel/shop? Yes, they are a tax write-off.
But your better tax write-off is RRSPs, TFSAs. TFSAs for paying your taxes. It's. I found out over the last 6 years, your best option is to save money for the future. So, do you get a little bit of a break? Sure, but keep this in mind too. If that's an expense, that means that if I sell these, that's income, and then I owe taxes on it, and I got to declare all that. So that's why I don't sell them, because if I sell them,
can you imagine?
Then it has to be. Do you imagine the headache?
Pain that would be?
That would be such a headache with Sierra.
Pass.
If I sold a jersey, I would have to. Guess what, guys? This is income, so I gotta, and then it's got to be GST. Then we'd have to have GST.
Are you both gamers? Nope. Yeah, no, I don't do. I don't have the patience to sit and play a video game.
No, the closest I ever got was when I was playing NHL all the time 15 years ago. But
I really don't. I barely really even play the little games on my phone. I really don't play games.
I've played Skyrim. I never finished Skyrim. Skyrim was fun. GTA I enjoyed just for walking around and creating carnage. But yeah, I wouldn't consider myself to be a gamer. A lot of the games that my kid was playing, I was like, I don't want to play that. That doesn't look fun. Especially when he was raging and throwing the controller. I'm like, I don't think that looks like fun.
Sometimes I play Mario Party with the kids. Does that count? Have you been to Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto?
Sadly,
never been to Toronto.
Sadly, no. That's something we'd like to do. I think next January we should go to Toronto.
In January?
Sure, yeah. We'll go there in January.
Do you know how excited I am to go from it being, I think it's 2 degrees now. It was -1 last time I looked. But
yeah, but
it's 1 degree. Chill. It's 1 degrees now. It's supposed to be like 23 degrees when we're in California. And I am so excited for 23 degrees. That sounds great. When is tax day in Canada?
End of April.
It's in May. It depends. They've changed it a couple times, but it's in May.
I try to make sure that it's filed and paid by April 30th.
Otherwise, his wife is super stressed about it because I do our taxes. I used to be in financial security, so yeah. The cat behind you wants your attention always. With Boston rumored to offer Carlo and Lascelles for Horvat, at what point do you go all in too far and throw off the chemistry that's worked?
I would be very surprised if Boston was willing to part with Carlo. Carlo's fantastic. And I'd also be kind of surprised if Vancouver picked up Carlo because while they need help on the blue line, I don't think Carlo's going to make a huge difference other than that would help their goals against a bit. But I don't know. I don't know that Carlo would necessarily be the answer there. I think they're looking more for futures. Lascelles would be a solid pickup for Vancouver. Boston's never been shy about trading first-round picks. I think it'd be a first. I think it'd be probably a guy like Lascelles and a roster player, but I'd be very surprised if it was Carlo.
Come to Edmonton in January. It's a cool -50 over here.
I've been to Edmonton. I've been to Edmonton twice. I went to Edmonton in 2011 for the Rammstein concert. That was in May. And then I went a couple years later. I went in July. And when it's hot in Edmonton, it's only like 26 degrees, but you feel like your body's melting. It's this weirdest thing where it was actually hotter here, but I could handle it being 32 here and in Edmonton with all the dust in the air.
Oh, it's and so it being dry 26 there. Yeah.
I just felt like I was dying.
So dry.
It was a very unpleasant experience. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a dry cold. You know, people say that, but we're used to humid.
If you're used to the humidity, that dry cold can be
hard.
Awful.
It's hard to breathe.
It can be tough. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it really hard to breathe there. And it's just so dusty and the air just feels
and then you
heavy.
Get that wind that comes in just carrying all the dust with it. It's like, oh, this is not
we're used to fun. Really clean, wet air.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if it ever snows here. Our snow hasn't melted yet. Well, the piles of snow.
We had like, what, 1.5 feet?
Yeah, we had a lot of snow. It snowed on Malachi's birthday. I remember because he thought that was just fantastic.
So 45 centimeters, for anybody wondering about it, about 1.5 feet.
We still have snow in the parking lots from that because it hasn't warmed up significantly. No. Like I said, today it's 1 degree.
But we're getting towards February, and that's where things start warming up, and we start to see
it definitely snows here. We usually have a couple of snows every year.
Usually,
the past couple of years, we've had a decent amount of snow, and it sticks around. But yeah, humid cold just sticks to you. Yeah, but I like the humidity. You can breathe in it. I do prefer the
humidity. When we go to Vegas, the first thing after we step off the plane in Seattle, there's that warm, moist air. I love the moist air. I can breathe again. I don't have to worry about my nosebleeds anymore.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That first time we went to Vegas, we both had a lot of nosebleeds going on.
Yeah. 60 degrees right now in Vegas. 16.
That sounds wonderful.
Well, it says 16 in Canada. I'm assuming you mean Celsius. 16 in Celsius.
Doesn't that sound fantastic?
Everywhere.
That sounds so nice. I would need a jacket. Just be out there walking around.
That would be 16. That's spring.
That's wonderful.
Do you guys get recognized a lot in public?
Yep.
Yes.
I did the last time we went to Disneyland, and that was 3 years ago. So
we do. Everywhere we go. We get recognized.
I wasn't wearing a hockey jersey. I wasn't talking about hockey and just, hey, that's the hockey guy. It's okay.
I get recognized even when I don't have a Shannon with me, which is bizarre because I'm only in videos like
it's your hair.
Once a week or so.
It's your hair.
It could be.
That's what it is.
It's an odd thing. Shannon wants him to go back to the V jersey full time. Oh my gosh. That would be so ugly. Oh my gosh. They wouldn't do that.
Not if they did it in like a nice sienna color with blue and maybe brown in the middle. Something really, really nice like that. Something unique. Really make it
That'd
pop.
be unique.
Really make it pop.
That would be so...
Come on, Canucks, make it work.
Make people riot.
Well, and then, because people talk about how ugly it is, you just put the skate logo right in the middle. But you do that in a bright green.
Why not the really big elbow ones?
Oh, well, you put the orca on the sleeve. One sleeve's the orca.
The flying V that
one
just
sleeve's
makes
the orca.
Spectacular.
The other sleeve could be the stick and rink. And then everybody's happy. You'd get everything into one jersey.
That would be so ugly.
That'd be fantastic. I'd have like 8 of them.
It's probably because I'm 23, but McDavid is the best player to have ever played hockey. All-time records are inflated, so he won't catch Gretzky.
The thing is, Gretzky's got more
works.
assists than anybody else had points. Gretzky's goal totals would have been a lot higher, but he decided he'd rather pass than score. I did a video today on Maurice Richard that'll be posted on the channel over holidays. He was the other way. His teammate said he wouldn't pass the salt. He was just not a passer. He was just, I'll score. My goal, I'll score. Pass the puck to me. Pass it back? I don't think so. But Gretzky was very selfless out there. He wanted to give Yari Curry all the goals and Anderson all the goals and Messier when they were line mates as well. He was the best passer I've ever seen, the best player I've ever seen. I love what McDavid's doing. I think he's going to put up ridiculous totals this year and beyond. But for me, it would still be McDavid.
The flying skate will be the full-time logo. Rebrand is coming.
I think so. I think they're going back to the skate. I think the skate's coming back. I think that's why they redesigned the skate, because I think they're going to go back to it.
Do you guys ever visit Bellingham? I went to university there. I went to Winco just last week.
I love going to Winco.
I hate driving down there.
Winco's so nice. I really
don't, but yeah, we do go down there every once in a while because we have our American post office box. So I go down there not very often because it just seems like such an ordeal.
I really don't order anything to go there anymore.
No.
I haven't ordered anything to go to the States in quite some time.
It takes time, but then when I do, I usually go down to Winco because then I can get American stuff. But with inflation, groceries are not cheaper in the States anymore, other than dairy.
Although the Canadian dollar's gained on the American dollar lately, so it might be a little bit better, but not
their groceries are so expensive, though.
They are.
I mean, our groceries are expensive too, but American groceries are expensive. If you guys were wondering if your groceries were expensive, they are. It makes it not worth it.
That it's expensive either.
I only buy things that we cannot get here.
You have to factor in time and gas.
Right.
So all the extra costs plus time, and it's
even the gas is not that much cheaper now.
No.
It is a little bit, but it's not that much. It's not significantly cheaper anymore. For Andrew and the other Bolts fans in chat, any idea on what Tampa Bay does at the deadline?
Tampa Bay, I think, is going to be. I mean, there's rumors about Luke Schenn going back to Tampa Bay. I think that would make a lot of sense. I think they'll add probably a little bit of depth up front. They really don't need to do very much. Tampa Bay looks very good. They're going to be so dangerous come playoff time, and we're all going to act surprised when they end up going on another run.
Who improves Kane's chances most? Teemo, or someone else?
Whoever gets Teemo Meyer is getting one of the best goal scorers right now in the National Hockey League. If he can be hot like that with them, then they're going to be quite dangerous. Carolina is close to being one of the top teams anyways in terms of Stanley Cup likelihood. So, yeah.
What if it was a skate with current colors?
I think if they change to the skate, it's possible they do it with the current colors, but I don't think fans would be happy with that. I think it'll be changing back to the black, red, and yellow colors.
Dairy's getting more expensive now because it's getting ridiculous. It's still a lot cheaper than it is here in Canada. Here, like $5.50 for a 4-liter.
There was some kind of a shortage or something.
But I have noticed that the dairy in the States has got more expensive too. But I don't buy milk down there. I'll just get like cheese and butter in the States is a lot cheaper. So I got butter last time. Showed up late. Did you talk about the Zegras situation yet?
I was looking that up. So apparently there's a rumor that last night's game, Troy-Stecher went absolutely bonkers going after Zegras. Apparently Zegras said something about his father who passed away. That's what the rumor is. I haven't heard anything else though beyond that. So as far as I know, it's a situation that's still hearsay. But if that's the case, like I understand chirping, but there's a line you don't cross, and certain players do cross that line.
Vancouver is on the Pacific. It is. Orcas are there. Oh my gosh.
That's something there's some fans forget
jersey.
though. That's something some fans forget though. They get mad because at the time it changed, it was owned by Orca Bay. So they felt that it was like a corporate branding of Orca Bay as the owners of the team. I think there's a middle ground. I don't think the Orca completely goes the other way.
I think it'd be cool if they did an Orca, but in Aboriginal art. That's my vote.
I'd like to see
awesome.
that in
and
game
it'd be really
because we've
fitting.
seen that with a practice jersey.
That'd
but
be really
I think
fitting
you could do it
here.
in game.
But yes, we definitely have Orcas here, and we are on the Pacific.
Yep.
Like it's there.
We have skates too, though.
We do have skates. Yeah. If the Islanders got Teemo, could that be a game changer?
It could be. One thing with the Islanders, though, the style of hockey they play, it does suppress offense. So I wouldn't expect Meyer to produce goals at the same rate with the Islanders. I think that if we had some kind of an encouragement in New York for more goals, I think you'd see the Islanders probably get a little bit better. But at any rate, it is what it is.
Butter smuggler. It's not really smuggling when you show them your receipt when you enter the country, is it?
They don't even care.
But I still show them.
They don't even care.
Thoughts on Habs turning down a first for Anderson?
They want to get as much back as possible. And I think that for Montreal, they've shown that they're smart. They did that last year. They got a first for Sherratt. So I would not be surprised to see them get a pretty good return for Anderson.
Do you have sticks and rinks in Vancouver?
We have stick and rink in Vancouver. They used to have that for their logo. We have. There's a lot of rinks.
We've got skates.
There's a lot of rinks.
We've got workers here.
Because here,
so many
here,
rinks.
unlike other parts of the country, you can't have an outdoor rink. So since you can't have an outdoor rink, there's a lot more rinks.
Is Canadian healthcare pretty good? U.S. pays big. Yes, it is pretty darn good.
There's wait lists, but from what I've understand, there's wait lists in the States now too.
Only for certain things.
Yeah.
It is really, really nice being able to just go to the doctor if you don't feel well. And you don't have to weigh, am I sick enough to want to pay for this?
Yeah.
It's really nice not having to have
the
money for a deductible. Yeah. We go to the doc when I was really sick for gosh, it was like a year there. I went to the ER several times. Them just like, okay, well, we're gonna do an EKG. Well, there's no, oh crap, how much is that gonna cost? I did like 2 CAT scans and so many blood tests. I never had a thought.
I had a really bad flu.
And I'm very, very grateful for that.
Yeah, I had a bad flu 7 years ago, and they did a full, they did all of it. They did a full, the chest x-ray. They did all of it. Because I said, this feels a lot worse than that. I've never been sick for this long. It had been over a week and I was getting worse. And they did every test. They did blood tests. They checked my blood pressure and everything. Yeah. And at the end they said, we can't find anything. So it's likely flu bug virus, just rest it off. And it didn't cost me a cent.
Yep. It's really
But I
nice.
felt better coming out of there because I knew it wasn't anything else. That was my concern. And they're like, all right, they did all the tests and I was okay.
Yep. We're very, very grateful for the medical system we have here.
Yep.
It's really nice. How long till Marchenko gets an assist?
I'm curious about that myself. If it happens while we're on holiday, because I think they play a game while we're in Disney. I'll have to say something. I'll have to do a little short on that because it's getting kind of funny that he's got so many goals and no assists. It's not that he's not passing the puck. He is. It's just his goal scoring ability is fantastic.
Why no outdoor rinks? It's either not cold enough. Like today it's 1 degree. Oh, it got up to 3 degrees now. And it's raining all the time. Rain on a rink does not.
Nope.
It's not fun to skate on.
It's just it's not cold enough, not long enough here.
No.
So you can't have a backdoor rink. When my cousins moved out here when I was a kid, my aunt was like, oh, we've got a big backyard. We're gonna have a big rink. And my mom was like, you're not. There's no outdoor rinks here. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
So, yeah.
Hello, Finnish viewer here. Just wanted to tell you guys, channel has been a big help the last year when I started following the NHL after a 20-year break. Really like your historical and career videos and those live streams.
Thank you very much. I've recorded 6 career videos so far that'll go live while we're on holiday. So lots of career stuff there.
When are you and Yvonne coming to the island? Do the Isles, Rangers, Devils thing?
We could do that while we're in Disneyland. What kind of an Uber cost will we be looking at for that?
Okay.
Still in the States.
Wait, I'm. Where's the island? See,
Long Island.
Okay, I was thinking Vancouver Island, then the teams.
Long Island. Because they're all in the same general area. Yeah, they're all in the same general area.
I thought you were talking about Vancouver Island.
I would
island
love
here is Vancouver Island.
Yeah, I would love to go to New York. I would love to go to Times Square. We've talked about doing that at some point in time. It's definitely on our radar. The when is a little tricky. I know next August she wants to go back to Vegas.
When you go to the ER in the States and nothing is wrong, you don't feel relieved. You feel like a fool. Right. That's what I mean. In the States, you have to
pay.
Money. You have to weigh, am I sick enough to justify going?
Yeah.
See, I would never guess Long Island when you say the island. That is never my guess.
The Island is also a pretty good movie I want to watch with you sometime.
What?
The Island. That's the one with Scarlett Johansson from all those years ago. And Kiefer Sutherland as well. So, that's not it.
How are the kitties that got fixed? They're doing good.
Yeah, they've got their cones off.
Yep, you can't see
Maple sleeping on the tree.
Azrael's probably being a spaz somewhere.
Kiefer Sutherland. That's completely wrong. Is it your fault?
No, the kitties are doing very good now. They definitely had a bit of trouble with the pain meds.
Meds made them really dopey.
I took them off of that early. They did so much better without it, especially Maple. She didn't know.
Maple was just staring.
I was getting worried that like her personality had.
She was just staring. She was sad a lot.
I didn't like that. So, but they're back to being themselves, back to climbing and jumping on everything and being all weird.
Yep.
We have weird cats.
Hey, kitty.
We have a bunch of weird cats. Somebody asked if they could borrow Bear. Bear is so the weirdest cat. Bear would not like you to borrow her because she doesn't like anybody else. If you come to our house, you will not see her.
It's one of the reasons that while we're gone,
not a chance.
While we're gone, my mother's going to be here. One of the reasons being Bear knows my mother and is okay and won't hide from my mother. And then we have somebody else coming in to check in too. And again, it's because that's a person Bear kind of knows and won't necessarily run away and hide from for days.
Won't hide for days. That's the thing is she'll like go underneath our covers in our bed and we have to pull her out. Or she hides like under, I don't know if you can see, under the jerseys and we have to pull her out. Even if it's hours later, she is so timid. You would think that she was abused as a kitten or something. She's just very, very timid.
I've had you since you were a baby.
Cat.
Had you for over 9 years.
In my opinion, it was unfortunate that Chiarelli did very little to push for playoffs during McDavid ELC. Which team has the best chance on Bedard ELC?
Which team could become a contender with Bedard the quickest? If Detroit ended up winning that number 1 pick, if they fell into that spot, Detroit, if you added Bedard to that lineup, wow, they might end up being in the playoffs next year.
I'm Tom Lincoln. No, I'm Tom Lincoln. Will we get Gino
Ogic?
Yeah, career video.
Yes. I wait until roughly a month after somebody has passed before I do a career video on them. There will be one on Gino Ogic for sure.
Oh, somebody wanted to know how old our kitties are.
Bear and Shadow are 9.
Pixel will be 8 this summer. No, she'll be 8 this summer.
She's 1 year younger than Bear and Pixel.
Yeah.
They're 9.
Bear and Shadow.
They're 9.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Pixel's 8.
And then Azrael and Maple.
Be 1 in May. April.
Yeah, April. They were born in
They're
April.
a year old. I know how old Pixel is, and you don't.
Because I don't keep track of that.
I do.
I'd
Now
have
the
to
kids,
do
on the other hand, I
math.
have no idea. But the cats.
You know what's important.
I keep track of the cat's age. The kids, I'm like, I
Do
even
we
said
still
to
have
Adelaide,
the bunnies? Yes.
Adelaide the other day,
Of course
I said,
we still have bunnies.
I told Adelaide, I said, I hope you had a good 8th birthday. I'm 10.
There's no bunnies at my feet right this second, but of course we still have bunnies. Will you be surprised if Shanahan doesn't keep Dubas next year?
Well, he's on the last year of his contract, so it's possible.
There's a
this
bunny.
Is his last year.
I've seen a bun.
It's okay, sweetie. I'll just hold you.
Aren't they sweet?
I think she
What
was
a good
sleeping.
cat dad you are, Shannon. He is. It's one of the things that kind of drew me to him was he had pictures of him and his kitties.
Sorry, I said I would just hold you. I'm sorry. I tried to kiss her head. She didn't like that.
So sweet. Aren't you? Look at that poofy head. Even her head is poofy. Poof, poof.
All I had to do to win this animal over so she'd come down to my room
Bribery.
every day is give her blueberry muffins. And
are you supposed to feed bunnies blueberry muffins?
No.
No.
She's fine. It's going just fine, isn't it, sweetie?
Shannon definitely, gives the animals food.
She loves me now. Every morning, as soon as their enclosures opened up, she runs down here, and now Licorice is running down with her every morning. So I've got Licorice back. The funny thing is, Licorice, I had stopped bringing him down because I didn't think he wanted to come down. And then I picked him up about a week and a half ago, and he tried to bite my neck. And I was like, oh, okay, so he's mad at me. So I started bringing him down. Now he loves me again. So I guess he was just jealous that she was always down here. Were you telling him tales? Guess where I was today?
Guess what food I got today? Who from the Sharks will be traded by the deadline?
I think Meyer goes. I think the price for Meyer is going to be too high for them to turn it down. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the goaltenders ends up going at the deadline either. Which one, we'll see. And anybody who's on an expiring contract will be up. But, I mean, it's been obvious that the only one that's untouchable is Hurdle, because that's what was said about a month and a half ago. I think they'll be active.
What did Zegras say to Stature?
I don't know the details. I just know the rumor is that he said something about his dad and his dad having passed away. So I don't know the details. And again, what was or wasn't said, does the NHL take any action? I don't think so. Okay, now she wants to.
What's the plan to get to 500,000 subs?
Oh, Lord.
Shannon just does what he does.
I just do what I do. I don't change anything. I don't worry about the number of how many. Just as long as it's trending up, that's all I worry about. Mm-hmm. As long as it's trending up, I'm good. And I don't think I'm going to reach 500,000. So that's just me personally. I don't think it's going to reach 500,000.
Are you concerned with the Jets losing skid? I'm hoping it's just because of the upcoming All-Star break. That's my hope. Because they've kind of done really crappy recently. And they've just been bad. They were doing good beforehand.
Like last night against
as they should Philly. Be good. Because they have a really good team. Bad. They do. They have a really good team. They've got really good players. So there's no reason that they shouldn't be good. I'm really hoping that it's because of the break coming up and their heads aren't in it. That's my hope.
Or at the very least, they have a reset coming out of it. It's been rough.
Yeah, maybe that's what they need is the little break. And I imagine that it has to be tough, always on the road, always playing games. Maybe they just need the break. Maybe. It can be hopeful, right? What pets do we have? Cats and buns. That's it. And children. Do children count? They should count. We have 3 children. They should
count. That one's 11, 15.
They listen as well as the pets. So are you going to do post-Disney travel videos?
Well, we're going to do them during and then we'll do one after as well.
Yeah, we can definitely do a video afterwards.
Be similar to when we went to Vegas.
Yeah,
be similar
I hadn't thought about that, but we can do that.
I intend to do a bunch of shorts for the Entertainment Guy channel as well during the week that we're off. So there'll be a lot of stuff going up on that channel. There will be probably some shorts going up on this channel as well, but that's the plan.
If the Canucks finish the rest of the year playing much worse than they did under Boudreau, Does old man Rutherford get the gate along with Tocchet?
I don't think Rutherford's going anywhere unless he wants to. I think Rutherford may step down at this point in time. I think I don't know that he anticipated as much blowback as he was going to get. I think that it's been a lot of stress for him. I would not be surprised to see him gone at the end of this season. I think Tocchet's sticking around next year. They're already paying for 2 coaches they fired. They don't want to be paying for another one.
As much as I like the skate jersey, I prefer the Orca logo. Children, future fans, and customers like Orcas. Blue and green identifies with BC.
I don't think...
And Finn!
Works with Finn too. If they went to the skate, I think the Orca would stick around as a third.
Yeah.
I don't think they would completely get away from the Orca.
People do really like the Orca. Yeah. There are the people that don't like it, but there's a lot of people that really do like it. So...
But... Yeah. At any rate, I should get going.
Thanks to my boys, I have strep. Kids are gross. Right?
Yeah, kids are disease bags.
They are.
I love children, but they're disease bags.
Cooties. And they share them all with me.
What music am I listening to recently? New stuff. I really haven't heard much new stuff lately because it's been just hockey.
We are not staying in an Airbnb. That's totally separate, but just saw that. No, we're staying at a hotel right by Disneyland.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about driving.
Yeah. Music, I really haven't had time for my music other than
I listen to
Treadmill.
a lot of music. I listen to a lot of music.
And Treadmill, I always listen to the same music I've been listening to for years. So there's that. But at any rate, I should get going. We got 2 games starting up. So thank you guys so much for coming out. It's greatly appreciated.
I have stuff to sew.
And she's got sewing to do as well.
I need to finish my bag.
And I have a bunch of videos. So I did the 2 videos.
Rammstein's newest album was good. I really like it.
Of course it is. All Rammstein albums are good. But at any rate, yeah, so there's a bunch of videos I got to make to put up on the channel for all you fine people.
Based on actual name, Johnny Canuck should be the logo. Skates and Orcas aren't Canucks.
I mean, I
guess, Canucks means Canadian, right? So yeah, totally works.
Canucks is slang for Canadian.
And Johnny Canuck is the Abbotsford Canuck logo, which is super fun. Yeah. And I really like that.
Yep.
Listen to metal, punk rock. Awesome. That's my kind of music.
All right, guys.
Well, good trip.
Thanks for coming out. And we will do this again soon enough. Won't be doing
not when we're in
there,
Disneyland.
But when we get back, we'll be able to do one.
So excited for 20-degree weather.
I am too. That's going to be fun because it's.
How is everybody noticing that we haven't cut your hair yet? There's been so many comments about how long your hair is.
Yeah, I'm going to be.
Don't worry, we'll cut it like today, probably today,
it's
maybe tomorrow.
Me crazy, so yeah.
Don't worry. There's been so many questions about are you growing your hair out?
No,
he's not growing his hair out. We just haven't cut.
No. All right, guys, take care. We will do this again soon, and I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Enjoy the All-Star game.
As long as we can see it. So fuzzy.